170 to 200 warrants a month. 90% of those warrants are for absconders. People taking off. You know why we have to do that? We have no choice. We have no choice except to write that warrant because we have no idea where you're at. The other 10% are for new felonies. If you guys are out there committing new felonies and you end up in a jail and even a misdemeanor or something like that, and we might not have a choice of writing that warrant because of the new felony. And the other portion of it is if any kind of assaultive behavior while on supervision. You know, if you put your hands on somebody and you assault somebody, our policies, our laws stipulate that we have to write a warrant for that. But for the most part, it's absconding. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys have any issues with your supervision, if you have a hiccup, stumble somewhere, relapse, ask for help. Okay? Like I said, there's going to be the resources here that are going to be available to you to ask for help for that. Don't run. Because if you run, what happens? Okay? If you are having troubles, talk with your parole officer. Okay? There's a couple of different ways of communicating with your parole officer. Which is one of them? Guys, give me one way of communicating with them. Call them. What's another way?
Text.
Text. Who said text? Yep. Third way? Email. You have all those information from your parole officer, right? I hope that you guys did an intake already with your parole officer. At least you did an intake with a parole officer, and maybe not have met your parole officer yet, but at least you did an intake with them. Correct? You have all that information. I personally like text and email. You know why? Because some of these parole officers, they might have caseloads of 70 or 80. Oh, there's somebody. I knew it. They're back there. See, I told you it was going to be somebody, right? Did I say that? Parole officer might have a caseload of 70 or 80. Right? And I think it takes 8 or 10 voicemails to get full. And of course, voicemails get, taken up and stuff like that. The voicemail might be full, so you can't leave a message. So you try calling them again in another hour. You might be stressed. You maybe got kicked out of your halfway house. You need to call them. You can't get hold of them. Text them. Email them. Because if they say, I never got your message, guess what you have? Proof that you did. Okay? That's why I like it. I like the written correspondence a lot better. When you do communicate with your parole officer, what information are you going to put in there? Even if you leave a message, what are you going to put?
Name, DOC number.
There. Perfect. Name, DOC number. You know how many times we get messages saying, hey, it's me. I screwed up. I need to talk to you. Call me back. Click. Who are you? Right? Make sure you leave the information, the pertinent information. Who's been on supervision more than twice? More than twice? How about more than 3 times? 3 times? I'm going to pick on you for a second. Cool. How many times you complete?
Once.
One time you completed successfully? So the other, is it twice you've been on 3 total or more? Yeah. What happened the other times?
New charge.
A new charge on both the other times? Okay. Were you mixed up in a bunch of bullshit and stuff that got you in the new charges and stuff? You think you could have maybe not done that if you would ask for the help in the beginning with stuff like that?
Absolutely.
What about you?
4 times.
4 times you've been on?
Yeah.
How many, what happened to the other times, or all the times?
I got off successfully.
All 4 times?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well done. You're wasting your time here then.
This is I'm wasting $190 for being here.
Yeah, yes and no. You've been in prison 4 different times though.
Yeah.
So when you're off of supervision, I can tell you this. Our goal is obviously to have you successfully keep supervision, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Why is that? We don't want you going back to prison. I can say I don't want you going back to prison because it costs a lot of money to keep you by guys in prison. It's wasting taxpayers' monies, blah, 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 blah. I could give a crap how much money it saves the state because you know why? I don't see any of it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see any of that money when it comes to state savings. I don't care about that. Our actual goal is to make sure you don't go back to prison, period, ever again, because we're going to introduce you to the resources available to you, even when you're off of supervision. Okay? Our goal is not to send you back at all. Everybody know what a recidivism rate for Arizona is? I mean, what recidivism is? It's a rate of anybody who's being incarcerated over the next 3 years after they got released from prison. Anybody want to guess what the recidivism rate in Arizona is right now?
89%.
89? Well, that's a little high. 40%. 39, 40%-ish right now. So, now I'm not picking on any of you because you guys are now here in the orientation. It was your choice to come here. I appreciate you guys coming here, but it's your choice to come here. And I'll give you the numbers of what the recidivism rate for people who are coming here. But 4 out of 10 of you may or may not end up back in prison within 3 years of just getting out right now. It's not a very good rate. We're trying to get that lowered, okay? But I can tell you now, though, is we had 18 scheduled to come here, and I think I've counted 11 or 12, okay? The percentage of warrants written for individuals coming here to these orientations is 8%. 8%. So 1 out of 10, less than 1 out of 10 of you may get a warrant for your arrest. For people who did not show up to this orientation and get knowledge and educated on why we're doing what we're doing, 4 out of 10 of you guys are going back to prison of who did not show up for this orientation. Okay, so 40% of individuals who did not show up, who are on supervision, end up getting a warrant written for their arrest. And it's usually for absconding. It might be for a new crime or whatever, but it's usually for absconding because they don't know how serious we are wanting to help you out and getting the help that you need. Who's in a halfway house?
Well, 3/4 house.
3/4 house? Okay, I'm going to pick on you because you said you were on supervision a couple different times too, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to ask what halfway house is. It doesn't matter. All halfway houses, people have anything you want. Let's say it's a Friday afternoon, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you had a slip-up, stressful day. You went and got high. Go back to the halfway house. Halfway house notices you're high. They test you test positive. They kick you out. It's Friday afternoon, about 4 o'clock. Got kicked out of the halfway house, coming back, getting high and stuff like that. Against the rules. Try to call your parole officer about 5:30 now. Guess where the parole officer's at? He's probably at Buffalo Wild Wings, drinking some beer, eating some wings, watching some football, because it's Friday afternoon, right? Can't get a hold of him. Leave him a message. Can't get a hold of him. Try to call him back later on. Can't get a hold of him. You're stuck. You have nowhere to go. What would you do? What are you going to do?
Go to the motel.
Go to a motel? Okay. If you have a plan, if you have enough money for that.
Yeah.
What else?
Go to another halfway house.
Good. Have a backup plan. First and foremost, you're going to contact your parole officer. If you can't get a hold of him, leave him or her. Leave them a message. If you can't leave them a message, leave them a text saying, I effed up. I need help. I just got used and I got kicked out of the halfway house. This is where I'm going. And then what else did you say? Come in maybe Monday morning. I'll be in the office Monday morning. We can figure something out. Don't take off. More times than not, I'll have people say, I'm just running. I don't want to be violated. I'm going to take off. I'm running. Don't do that. Contact your parole officer. Let them know what's going on. Be honest with them. Okay? You have my word. I'm the warrants guy. They're not going to write a warrant for you if you're asking for the help. If you're asking and needing the help and wanting the help, they're going to get you the help. Just don't take off. Be honest with them. Okay? Let's say a month later goes on. Now you're in another halfway house. I'm going to pick on you again. You're in another halfway house. Shit hit the fan again. Something happened. You end up using. Call your parole officer. Say, hey, I just got kicked out of halfway house again. I've been using for the last 2 days. I'm stuck. I don't know what the hell is going on. And all of a sudden he says, you know what? This is the second time you've been using. This is the second time you got kicked out of a halfway house. That's 4 violations. You need to come in the office and talk to me. I need to staff it with a supervisor. Who's been on supervision before? Who's heard that before?
No, never.
Have you heard that before?
Well,
what does that mean?
I actually got kicked out of 2 halfway houses, and still got another chance to go to another one.
They gave you another chance.
So 3 altogether, then the 3rd one I made it successfully off of parole.
Cool. Usually, what does it mean when you say, hey, come on in the office, we need to have a meeting?
You're going back to prison.
You were arrested. I've been arrested at the parole office one time.
Yeah, it definitely means you're getting arrested. Come in with just money so you can put them on your books. You can go eat some ho-hos and some RC Cola when you get back to prison.
Better hope it's only a couple of months.
I can tell you this. If you are calling the parole officer, asking for them to help, and you actually notified them and saying, I got kicked out again. But the key is, I'm not saying it's a get out of jail free card saying you can go ahead and use whenever you want as long as you call your parole officer and say, hey, I just used last week, but guess what? I'm asking for help now. There are circumstances that we have to take care of. There's obviously some steps we need to take care of with you guys when it comes to getting you help. But if you're honestly and legitimately asking for the help, you're going to get the help. You're not going to get arrested. Okay?
How serious you are.
Exactly. how serious are you? Let's say sanctions are imposed on you, and let's say the first time it was a slap on the wrist, maybe they increase your UAs, or maybe put, one-on-one counseling instead of group counseling, or whatever it was. Or maybe you weren't in counseling and they had to put you in counseling. Obviously, it's going to increase a little bit more. Okay, we have halfway back programs, MRC, which is Maricopa County Reentry. We have one down in Tucson. We have a whole bunch of different other halfway houses and stuff like that. Other people will talk to you about. There is help for you. Some of them might be inpatient, might be a 7-day inpatient, 14-day inpatient, but there is the help for you if you are actually wanting the help. Not just BSing us out, going, hey, I got 3 get out of jail free cards. This idiot up front at the orientation said I can go use and come in and ask for help when I get out of jail and go use again. And that's not the case, right? There are, stipulations with it. But what I'm saying is if you're asking for the help, don't take off, don't run, because if you run, it's an automatic warrant. Fair enough? Get that point across with you guys, hopefully? Cool. Do you guys think you can travel out of state when you're on parole?
Yeah.
Depends.
There you go. It all depends. The answer is not no. You can. It's something you work towards, okay? I mean, if you're out right now and all of a sudden you come up to me and say, I'm going to go to Disneyland with my family next week, and you just got out of prison last week, the answer is probably you need to work at this a little bit. Show me and prove to me that you're capable of handling parole, staying off the drugs, getting a job, going to counseling, stuff like that. But 3 months from now, if you've been doing everything clean, going to work, doing your counseling, reporting and stuff like that, you want to go somewhere for a day or two, I don't see why not. But if you're in and out of different halfway houses and been using and stuff like that, you got to work towards that.
Hey, so I asked my parole officer, my niece is supposed to have the baby in August. So it'll be like 4 months after I get out. And she said, she's like, oh no, you can't just go to this, it's not your kid. So she told me.
Where do you want to go?
Kansas.
Okay. Like I said, every case is different. And I'm not going to sit there and try to supervise you. But I think in August, if everything's cool to go, and it's the end of July, and you're looking, and you've been working, and your UAs, caught up on your fees, and all that kind of stuff, and everything's clean, I really wouldn't see why you would be able to go. And if they're adamant about, it's not your family, step it up, go to the supervisor, and tell them that I said that. I don't care. Put my name out there. Okay?
All right.
Tell them if you think you've been doing everything well, ask your parole officer, hey, how I've been doing. I still want to get to Kansas in August. Just make sure everything's up and up. It's something you have to work for. Same with your UAs. I mean, most people have to submit drug tests for, UAs and stuff like that. I think eventually, if you're on long enough, you can be submitting clean UAs, and you've been going to your counseling, you can pay your clients and stuff, counseling like that. Something to work towards to get off the UA system. It's an incentive program. So yes, you can travel out of state, but I'm not going to say everybody can travel out of state all the time. Every case is different. But you said it all depends, but it is something to work toward. The reason I bring that up is because that's asked a lot. What do you think another thing is asked a lot? Every single orientation, I'm going to bring it up now.
Pot.
Hot. How'd you know? Can you guys smoke pot while on supervision?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You said yes?
But it depends.
I like that. It depends. It is legal. It is legal for individuals to smoke pot. Is it legal for you guys to smoke pot because you're on parole?
Yes.
It depends. What about alcohol? Can you drink alcohol while on parole? Alcohol's legal. Alcohol's been legal from day one. You're not supposed to?
It's suggested not to.
There you go. Here's the DOC's stance. It's not a policy, it's our stance. We don't recommend it.
Yeah, that.
Okay? Everybody knows their own level of tolerance when it comes to any sort of substance, whether it's alcohol, pot, meth, heroin, whatever it is out there that everybody's using, everybody knows their tolerance. Obviously, the illegal ones you cannot use. The legal ones we do not suggest you using because we can debate all day long for 8 hours whether we think marijuana and or alcohol is a sort of gateway drug to the next one, the next level up, right? You guys know that, I know that. I'm not going to debate it. You can debate it in your head all day long, but it's not recommended. I can tell you this though, if somebody has an alcohol-related offense, or if their offense is alcohol, like a DUI, extreme DUIs or stuff like that, or if you're under the influence of alcohol and you went to a Circle K or you went to First Bank or whatever and you robbed it, and it's in your PSI, I can almost guarantee that you're not going to be allowed to drink alcohol even though it's legal. Same thing with pot. If your offense or your crime is somewhat related to pot, or you're high as a kite on pot, or whatever it was, and you're some sort of offense was related to pot or marijuana, you might have been already given a condition that you may not smoke that pot. But every other case is different. What I would encourage you to do is communicate with your parole officer and find out. They're probably going to tell you the same thing I am. Says, I don't recommend it. Okay? You know what it does to your body. You know your limits when it comes to the pot. But you may or may not be tested. So if they said you're not going to be tested, we don't recommend it. They're not going to say go ahead and smoke away. I'm not telling you to go ahead and smoke away. But what I am saying is it is legal. You know your limits. And you know if you're going to be tested for it or not, whether you should be doing it or not. Make sense? How's that a politically correct response to weave around that answer? You like that? So, yeah. Any questions on the pot thing? Because that comes up all the time. If you do decide that you can handle that or whatever, obviously you need to buy it legally at a dispensary and not behind a Circle K for half the price, because two things. One, it's illegal to buy it illegally. And two, you have no idea what it's laced with. Okay? We have people who are getting sick and even ODing sometimes on stuff that they don't even know what they're smoking or inhaling or injecting stuff. So just keep that in mind when you guys are buying that stuff. You need to do it legally from a legal dispensary. I would also recommend, maybe if you need it, not want it, but need it, get a marijuana card from a doctor. Okay? It always has to be a need, not a want. My personal opinion, but that's DOC stance as well. Okay? Any questions on that? Good to go with that? So don't run. Communicate with your parole officer. Everybody has their parole officer's their information, right? You guys all have cell phones and stuff? Who doesn't have a cell phone? Everybody's got a cell phone? Wow. Well, it is 2022, right? All right, so what about a job? Who has a job? You have a job already?
I had a job before I got out.
Did you? Who needs a job? All right.
Yeah, I got a number I can give for a job. It's $16 an hour, no background check, no interview, hire on the spot.
Where's that?
35th in Indian School.
Is it the wood making, the roof making?
No, it's cast molding.
Oh, yeah. So here's Lisa. I'll let her know what you guys, and we also have other individuals for jobs too, but I'll let Lisa do her spiel.
All right. Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Glad you're here. Thank you. Before I get started with Arizona at Work, I want to tell you about two jobs that we have right now. One is over at Stealth Demolition over in Scottsdale, and it's full-time, starting at $18 an hour, 77th Street in Thunderbird. The other one is Core Slab Structures, 43rd and Broadway, starting out entry-level $19.50 to $21.91. If you're interested, come up and see me afterwards. And sign up and I'll give you the information. So, welcome home. Glad you're here. Thanks for being here today. My name's Lisa Daw. I am with Arizona at Work. I'm actually located here inside this building. And I want to tell you a little bit about some of the resources that we can provide for you. So we're here to assist you with employment and any other resources you may need. All right. We'll get you registered in the Arizona Job Connections website, which is just another tool for you to use for job search. A lot of resources in there, school options. We'll work with you for 90 days longer if you need it. One, we want to make sure that you are transitioning back to the community. How many are overwhelmed with everything right now? Yeah. And you know what? It's okay. So we want to help you with that transition. We want to assist you with a job, your resumes, your interviews, how to disclose your background. We can assist you with school options if you need to get a GED, or if you're looking for a skilled trade or an apprenticeship. This is a great time to be thinking about your future. A lot of opportunities out there. We used to have a virtual job fair every other week. We get job leads from our business rep on different jobs from employers that want to hire you. Background usually not an issue. How great is that? All right. So we ask that with your phone you have your voicemail set up, okay, and create an email account if you haven't done so already. First thing you need to do is get your ID and social. Who has both? Nice. Who has one or the other? Who needs both? Yeah. That's going to be your starting point. You have to be job ready. And we have resources that can help you with that. All right? So what's going to happen after today is if we haven't already contacted you, we will. We want to get you rolling. Even if you don't need our resources right now, hang on to our information. Somewhere down the line, you may want to change jobs or look into school, or you may know somebody that needs some additional assistance, and we can help with that. So, the marijuana, all right? Yes, it is legal. However, if you have to go drug test for a job, that could actually knock you out of a job. If you have the medical card, I would suggest that you talk to the employer and find out what their company policy is on that. Because I would really hate for you to lose a job because you're out there smoking weed. All right, just that simple. Anybody here on the red team or the second chance? Nice, congratulations. You're going to be working with one of our other associates, and when we get your paperwork, we will send that information to them, and they will reach out to you as well. All right. So on your folders, there's a blue card. That is me and my information. Don't lose that. If we haven't contacted you, please feel free to contact me. Who was in a halfway house? Okay. So sometimes when we call the halfway house, they always tell us they can't confirm or deny that you're there. We know you're there because you filled out the blue form when you first released. All right. So again, we'll leave a couple of messages, but want you to contact us if you're not hearing from us, okay? Any questions, come see me afterwards. Again, my name's Lisa, and welcome home.
Thank you.
All right, you two, go get them. All right, go.
My name's Jessica. I'm with Cheers Recovery Center with the TIP program.
I'm Lisa. I'm with Hope Lives TIP Recovery Program also.
So we're here to get you with integrated healthcare, get you with a primary care physician, behavioral health if needed. Right now, transportation is provided for you. Now is a good time to get that done. There's no co-pays or anything while you're on insurance. You don't know what you're coming out with. Hep C, HIVs, cancers, or anything like that. I didn't get a primary care when I was released, and 6 years after I was released, I was in a car accident and they found cancer on my thyroid. At that point, I was too advanced of a stage to do treatment, and I had to have surgery, and now I have a scar on my neck. But maybe if I would have got that primary care physician when I was released, they would have been able to catch it a lot sooner, and then I would have been able to do treatment, and then I wouldn't be on medication for the rest of my life. So I'm really, it's dear to my heart to get you guys with integrated healthcare and get you with a primary. We'll make the appointment. We can usually get you in within the same week, if not the following week, at our South Phoenix location. I will also set up the transportation for you, so you don't have to sit on the phone and wait on hold and punch in a whole bunch of numbers. We'll do that work for you. We'll text you the time, the date, who you'll be seeing, and when your transportation will pick you up. If we can't get transportation to pick you up for some weird reason, we'll take you personally to your appointment. So we're really wanting to get you to your appointment. Who here's heard of peer support training? Anybody? Peer support training? Come. All right, peer support training is just using your lived experience to help others doing what we do. Listen to other people, what they've gone through, kind of give them some advice if they're wanting it. Sometimes they just want to sit and vent a little bit to you. It's a really rewarding job to know that you help somebody else. We offer the training at Cheers Recovery Center. Our next training starts in April. It's a 2-week training, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 3 o'clock. So, and then
Over at Hope Lives, ours is a little different. It's 12 weeks. It's Tuesday through Thursday, 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And at the forensic part, working with mental health court, it's very rewarding, great feeling, giving back to the community. 5 weeks of the 12 weeks is your internship at Hope Lives also. So if anybody is interested, come see me over here and I'll let you know what you have to do. I'll help you out.
Okay. And so also, I just want a quick backtrack. We are also offering a $40 Walmart gift card while supplies last to go to your doctor. So if I make the appointment, you go to your doctor's, I verify that you went to your appointment, I will come and bring you a $40 Walmart gift card. So that's something also up in the air for you as well, just to let you know. So also we offer other resources. I know a couple of you raised your hands about ID and social security cards and stuff like that. I can take you down, or if it's in Lizette's schedule as well, we can take you down to MBD. They have homeless ID project, which I can take you down to get a voucher. It's like, can be an all day thing though, because there's a lot of people that go to it. We'd have to try to get there right away when they open, to get in line first. And then I can make another date or arrangement, or unless it fits in the same day, I can take you down to MBD to get your ID. Social Security is making it a little bit harder for you to get to your social now because they're not open, and you have to try to make an appointment, and half the time they're not even taking phone calls.
Hey, real quick, called my parole officer, and she told me that it's up here.
Oh, your social? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then they got it from the prison.
I can go right here when I'm
Yeah, you can go probably in the next door after we're done here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How can we find out if it's even here yet from prison?
You'd have to talk to your parole officer. Yeah. I have applications for you to fill out. You have to fill out an application and then mail in a hard copy of your ID. I know it's hard to go without your hard copy of your ID. They'll mail that back to you with your Social Security. But they are making it, and the address needs to match on your ID of the address that you're going to be having the Social Security card mailed to. So they're making it really hard right now.
Say that again about the address on the ID.
It has to match up the address that you're mailing the Social Security card to. So yeah, you got to get your new ID with a new social or new address.
It can't just be the ID showing face.
No, they're making it really hard right now to get your social. Yeah, I've had a couple of people mail it in and they get their social back. So.
But can't you use your ID and birth certificate too?
Yeah, you have to get a job. Yeah, you can use ID and birth certificate. Yeah, so it may be easier and quicker for you to get your birth certificate than it is to get your social. So that you can get a job with your birth certificate as well. So that's something to think about as well.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Prison ID just as good as to get your Social Security card?
No, it's not.
No,
it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. So also. What does it say? Oh, we also, if you haven't been able to get a phone yet and you have access, we can get you a phone as well. So that's something we can check to see if your access is activated. Just come see us afterwards as well. And then we also have clothing resources for you. I have dental resources. Just have an email address so that I can email you all of our dental resources that we have. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just saw my doctor like 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna come see you about that Walmart code.
What is it?
Good morning, everybody. My name's Adam. I'm from St. Mary's Food Bank. We are the world's first food bank. We cover 2/3 of the state. We feed about 250,000 people a day. I first found St. Mary's Food Bank in 2015 when I was living in a federal halfway house. And somebody handed me a flyer for their jobs programs. So that's what I'm here to talk about today, which is the Skill Center. We've got 2 paths to careers. We have a culinary path, and we also have a warehouse path, a forklift training program. These are paid programs if you're on probation and parole and have 2 forms of ID if you're work ready. If you're born in the state of Arizona and have a state ID, walk into Vital Records and get your birth certificate printed. It's gonna be a lot easier than getting a Social Security card. We've helped thousands of people get jobs over the years, and right now in this market, much easier to get a birth certificate than it is to get a social. It'll happen quicker, same day, but print it out and hand it to you.
Where's that at?
Vital Records. Look it up.
Off of the freeway and Dunlap.
Thank you.
They're all
They're all over.
Google it.
Yeah,
They're
right
all over.
downtown also.
Google what?
Vital Records.
Google Vital Records with your zip code.
All right.
And it'll have the closest one to you. That's going to be your easiest way to get job ready. So if you're job ready, through our partnership with Maricopa County Smart Justice, we can pay you while you're training. You get paid minimum wage, that's $12.80 an hour. If you're not job ready, that's all right. We will pay for your halfway house and we'll give you some cash stipends while you're training with us. Yes, sir.
What if you're living with family?
Then you get the cash stipends, but no halfway house stuff. So
Right.
you get a little cash. If you don't have ID, we would help you get your ID so that
Well,
you're
like I
working.
got my ID, I just got to get my, I'll just have to go get my birth certificate.
Then
now.
you'd be able to get paid through Smart Justice, minimum wage, while you're training, and then we help find you work at the end. So the 2 programs we've got Community Kitchen, which is a culinary training program. It's 9 weeks long. 3 tiers. First tier, knife skills and life skills, just like it sounds. Learning about money management, building a resume, communication, teamwork, learning your cuts, your cooking techniques. the ins and outs of the kitchen. You come out of that with a food handler's card, you go into Kids Cafe. Kids Cafe is part of our Feeding America program. In addition to gathering and distributing food to 250,000 people throughout 2/3 of the state, we feed 6,000 kids in the metro area a late afternoon meal Monday through Friday. Most of those are cold packed by volunteers. About 500 of those are hot meals made in our Kids Cafe kitchen. Protein, starch, vegetable milk, and a fruit cup, USDA guideline My Plate. Those are going to after-school programs in communities where the schools are at 50% or higher, free or reduced lunches. Then their parents can sign them up. They're waiting for mom or dad to pick them up. They get a hot, nutritious meal, right? Third tier is Creative Kitchen and Catering. When I left today, they were jamming out like 150 sandwiches for the state capitol for something going on today in the catering. But there you're making the meals for the students and staff. So you go from making 500 to maybe making 40 or 50, but it's the creative kitchen. You're working through menus, you're working through recipes, different genres. American week, breakfast week, Mexican week, Italian week, might be a chef's choice week. Who knows what you're making in there. At the end of that, we help you find work. There's never been a better time to look for a job in my entire life than right now. Workers have leverage, right? You can play 2 or 3 people off of each other and get the best offer. We have a partnership with Mission, that's one of our employment partners. They're paying $18 an hour for dishwashers right now. It's great. It's in Old Town Scottsdale and in Kierland, Scottsdale. So they have 2 locations. Our other program is called LIFT. That's Logistics Inventory Forklift Training. That's a 6-week program. You do the same life skills. You're doing tons of safety stuff. You're learning the ins and outs of the warehouse. And then most importantly, we're getting you comfortable on the forklifts to be able to operate that equipment. Every student's going to get 2 meals a day and a food box once a week. That's a cart full of groceries. We're going to give you bus passes to get you to and from. If you drive, we're going to give you gas cards to get you to and from. So transportation assistance. We're going to provide the uniforms, the curriculum, and absolutely anything you need to make it through. You got 1 pair of glasses and they break, we'll get you a new pair of glasses so you can finish. You got 1 pair of shoes and you blow the heel out, we're going to get you a new pair of shoes so you can finish. Our job is to remove barriers. Our entire mission is to help individuals with barriers to employment become successful and find meaningful work. We've been doing it over 20 years. I'll be here to answer questions after you break out. I also brought cookies. Please eat some so I do not. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Osvaldo Ortiz. You can call me Ozzy. I am here with AAA Landscape. We are a local landscape, commercial landscape company. So if you're ready to work, you have your ID, you have a passport or a social security card ready to go, I'm here to offer you a position. If you're looking for work, you like working outside, if you don't mind working outside, doing some manual labor, we got a place for you. We are a growing company. We've been in the business for 47 years now. So that means we're well established and we have a backlog of jobs never ending. And so one thing I can guarantee you is a full-time job, full-time hours, benefits after 90 days. We like to take care of our people. And so like I like to say, we're more concerned with your future than your past. So we're not looking so much at your record, we're looking at where you want to go in life. And if you want to get a career in landscape, there's room for growth. And so one thing that we are is a drug-free work environment. So we do drug tests. So if you can pass the drug test, we'll hire you on the spot. And so we are looking for work because we are growing and we need people who help us become the premier landscape company in the world. And that's our mission. How many of you guys have siblings in this room? Siblings, younger sisters, brothers, something older? Cool. How would you like to make them proud? I can stand right here and tell you that you can't, because my brother did 22 years in prison. He just finished his parole, and now he's out working, getting his life back together, and I can say I'm proud of him because he did that. And so he can make your family proud, and this is one avenue you can do so. You start your career. We have room for you. If you want to get started, you can come talk to me in the back. I'll fill out an application and get you going. All right, once again, my name is Osvaldo Ortiz. You can call me Ozzy. I'll be here to serve you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Hi, good morning. My name is Mandy, and I'm with Changes Healing Center, and with me is John. He's our founder and CEO. Really quick funny story, when Josh invited us to be here today, And he said, oh, you're going to come present to the Department of Corrections. I'm thinking that I'm going to be standing in a room full of people in uniform, judges and parole officers, and I was really super nervous. I was like, yeah, I don't know. And so I texted him yesterday, and I'm like, hey, Josh, I'm kind of nervous. What can I expect tomorrow? Who's going to be there? Do I get a microphone? Because I used to work in radio, so I'm used to standing in front of people, talking to a microphone. And, just what can I expect? And he's like, don't worry, don't be nervous. You're going to be fine. I'm going to be with you there the entire time. You're going to do great. So I'm like, well, who's going to be there? And he goes, well, there's going to be about 13 or 15 to 30 offenders. And I was like, wait a minute. What? I'm talking to the offenders. I'm not talking to judges and parole officers and police officers. That anxiety quickly turned into excitement. Because instead of presenting to a room filled with these big decision makers and people that make you really nervous, right? I get to talk to people that are just like my husband. I am talking to a room full of my husbands right now. But what does that mean? So I'm married to a drug addict. I got married 7 months ago on August 1st, 2021. A month later, my husband relapsed. He wanted to find out what fentanyl was all about, so he tried it. Also got some alcohol, got behind the wheel of his vehicle, had a seizure, crashed, and when authorities got there, he was unconscious and he wasn't breathing. It took 6 doses of Narcan to bring him back to life and CPR. And you would have thought that that was enough to keep him from using, but it didn't. So for the first 6 months of my marriage, we're on our 7th month now, it was a complete and total absolute nightmare. I did not think that he was going to survive. So he's clean and sober now, thank God. But if he were to use again, if the drugs don't kill him, he's going to end up exactly where you are today. And I know that he doesn't want to be here. And I definitely know that you don't want to be here. And you know who else doesn't want you here? The courts don't want you here, which is why they invite programs like ours to come and talk to you, to let you know that it's not just about what you did, because what you did to get you here is not who you are. It's something that you did. So it's our job to give you exactly what you want, that freedom, that life outside of prison bars, to be with the ones who love you. So me being here today is not just about presenting our program, which I know is going to make a difference in your life, but I'm here on behalf of the other wives and moms and girlfriends and sisters who are dealing with the exact same thing that I am. They have gone through a lot of pain because of the things that you have done. But again, they know that that's not who you are. And despite all that pain, they want you to come home. That's all they want, is for you to finally come home. And we are here today to help you navigate your way back to that home and for you to stay there for good. So how do we do that? And that's where John comes in. He's going to tell you exactly what we do and how it's going to set you free.
Yeah, so my name's John. I'm the owner and CEO of Changes Healing Center. We're an inpatient residential treatment facility in Phoenix. I started this treatment center because I myself have personal recovery experience. I've been, sober for 11 years. And, for me, the biggest thing is, getting to the treatment facility was always the hardest part, right? I would talk to the people at the detox facilities when this was a long time ago and I was still using, right? And they're like, you should go to this place, you should go to this place, and always give them the lip service, right? Like, yeah, all right, cool, I'll be there, blah, blah. I'll come tomorrow. I got to go back to my house first, you know what I mean? And we'll figure it out from there. And I just never went. And I landed at a place 11 years ago, and it absolutely changed my life, and that's what I'm passionate about, He was mentioning something about just asking for help, right? I think that's the most difficult thing you could ask one of us to do, right? It's just to ask for help. I don't want to do it, and I know a lot of people don't want to do it. The second that I was willing to ask for help, it completely changed my life, And so our program, our biggest primary concern is just making sure that you guys have everything you need to stay sober and to recover from alcoholism and drug addiction. We try to eliminate any barriers that you may have to do so, right? And so, we also try to have fun with it. We go to the movies, we go bowling, we go hiking, we go do whatever, right? And then throughout our program, we also have a lot of job development and things to help you guys get reacclimated back into society once you leave our facility. So, you know, that's what our passion is, and that's what our goal is. You know, we want to stop the cycle ultimately, you know. I don't know about you guys, but for me, this is like generations of drug abuse and alcoholism within my family, you know. And if I can be at least one family member to hopefully stop the cycle, man, that can go a long way, you know. So we'll be in the back. We have information. Feel free to come talk to us. And we ultimately just want to be here to help in any way possible, you know. So we look forward to talking to you guys, and thank you so much for letting us share. We appreciate it.
you.
Sorry.
Morning, everybody. Welcome home.
Morning.
So my name is Whit. I'm here to talk to you about another level of community services, also known as ALOCs. You might have heard about us on the yard or heard about us at your halfway house if you're staying at a halfway house. And what we are is we're an integrated health clinic with a focus on behavioral health and reentry. It's a fancy way of saying that we want to provide you with medical, psych, spiritual, and job skills, right? We want to be your one-stop shop for all that stuff. Our main goal at ALOCs is to give you at least 90 days to figure out who you are as an individual and what direction you want to go with your life. We want to give you some time to breathe. So how we do that is we provide your your physical medical services on site. We have an MP on site and a doctor on site that will check you out physically. And then we have a psychiatrist on site that will check you out mentally. And then we have spiritual services. I have the joy of being the acting chaplain there. So we provide spiritual services for you. And if you don't believe the same way that I believe, it's my job to make sure you know what you believe by the time you leave us. Even if you don't believe in anything, I want you to be sure that you don't believe in anything by the time you leave, so that you can be spiritually, mentally, and physically healthy, right? So another thing that we do is we offer job skills training. So we can help you get your CDL. We'll take you from book to permit, from permit to truck. We have 2 trucks on site. We have a manual and an automatic. You can learn how to drive in either one of those. When you leave us, you will have your license and a job. We also offer peer support certification. So if you want to use your story to help change somebody's life, you can come to us and get your peer support certification and then get a job in the peer support field. We also offer culinary. So if you like to cook, I like to eat. So I hope you're good at it because I'm very judgmental, right? If you like to cook, we can help you do that. You can get your food handler's card, and then we can get you your kitchen manager certification. So when you go out into the workforce, you can go in at a little bit higher level of pay and know how to run a kitchen, also know how to run a catering business. We also offer entrepreneurship if you want to work for yourself, because not all of us can work for somebody else. If you want to take those life skills that you have, the buy low, sell high, distribution, collections, and all that good stuff that we used to do at one time, and turn that into a viable business, we have training that will help you do that, to help you get your LLC and your EIN so that you can do it legally and not get it taken away from you, right? So we want to help you do that. We also offer social reintegration, because coming out, we have this thing called adjustment disorder. Now, I didn't think I had adjustment disorder until when I got out, I went to Fry's. And like I said, I like to cook, I like to eat and all that good stuff. So I went to Fry's with my little EBT card, right? And I was going in, I had this meal plan in my head. I was going to get this stuff. I was going to cook for my roommates. Dude, I got in there and some dude bumped me with his cart, and I was ready to fight. I was like, dude, you hit me again, it's going to be me and you. You know, because I had that prison mentality still, right? Then I took a look around, and there was way too many people doing way too many things and way too many choices. Honestly, I swear all I wanted was a bubble sheet. Can I just get a bubble sheet and have them bring it to my rack? That would be so much easier.
Instead of getting stuck in the cereal aisle?
Yes. Yes. Chips, actually. Chips for me, I was like, man, I didn't know they made so many. And I couldn't find whole shebangs to save my life. Right? A little bit disappointed. Right? A little bit disappointed. But then I began to realize that I had this thing called adjustment disorder. My anxiety level was through the roof. I went out to the workforce, got a job in landscaping. Love landscapers. I really appreciate what they do. But I got out in the middle of July. It was hot. I'm fat. Not the job for me. Right? But I had to work because I needed to pay my halfway house fees. Okay? But then a guy that was at the halfway house with me told me, Whit, why are you killing yourself out here doing this when you can go to this program? They're going to help you cover your weekly housing fee. I said, dude, nobody's going to do that for me. He said they will. So I got in the van, I went to ALOCs, and they started covering my weekly housing fee. So I didn't have to worry about where I was going to live. And I was able to focus on me and what I wanted to do. Got my peer support certification, started working on my CDL, and then became the intake and marketing specialist there and the chaplain there. So now I get to live my best life every day, right? Because I took some time to breathe. So that's what we want to offer you at ALOCs. And if you want to come into our program, it's all charged to your insurance. We take Banner University Family Care or United Healthcare. We need you to contact Access and let them know that you have been released, because everybody coming out of prison is high risk, high need, so everybody has Access health insurance, but you have to contact them to get it started when you get out. Let them know you've been released to get it started. When you contact them, choose either Banner University Family Care or United Healthcare, and you can utilize that Access health insurance to come into our program and receive the services that we provide. If you have any questions, I'll be sitting right over here. God bless.
Thank you.
You want to go to that next, or what do you want to do? Okay. Are you talking about your program?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was going last, but
Well,
I'll go second. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Wake up early this morning. My name is Patricia, and 15 years ago, I was sitting right here where you guys are sitting. Said that I don't know they actually had orientation. When I heard about it, I was like, I don't remember attending that. So I love seeing this. I love seeing everybody here today and hearing what's offered. So I was incarcerated in 2001. I was involved in a DUI car accident, and I received 7 years. I served at Perryville right here and was released. Came home, and I vividly remember sitting on my driveway about 7 months out thinking, I just want to go back. Like, it's so much easier. I didn't have responsibilities. I didn't have to pay my bills. If I wanted to work, great. If I didn't, they would put me on a yard where I could sit and play spades and smoke cigarettes all day, and I would be fine. In Perryville, we didn't have to do yard at the time. And so I remember thinking that because I had no idea how good my life could be. And I can't tell you how amazing my life is today. I went back to school. I have a master's degree. I'm a licensed clinical therapist here in Arizona. It wasn't easy, and I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that you're going to get all these services and life is going to be just amazing, because it's not. I have hard days. Life isn't perfect. It's far from it, but it's good. And I love that I get to wake up, and if my car breaks down, I know I can get it fixed. I know somebody I can call, or I have enough money in my bank account because I've been working really hard and I can take care of it. I'm not looking over my shoulder. I would lie if I told you that I hadn't done other things in my life that I could have been arrested for, I could have gone back to prison for, immediately coming home because it was easy money. And I've been talking with a bunch of my friends recently, and we were talking about how sitting on the couch and selling is easy. It's easy money, right? Work is a hustle. I hustle every day. I get up and I meet with people and I go to meetings and I do all kinds of things, and my day is very busy. Today I won't get home until 9 o'clock. It's not easy, but it makes life amazing. This weekend I'll go out with my friends and go camping, right? And I get to have fun, and I'm not worried about, am I looking over my shoulder anymore? And I love that. I love that my kids will not live the same life that I led. Makes me tearful because I'm super excited about it. I'm excited that my kids don't have to live the life that I led. So went to school, got out, went to school, got my bachelor's, got my master's, and now I'm a licensed clinical therapist. I work on trauma and addiction therapy because it's my language, I know it, right? And I have opened now 3 companies. They're all a little bit different. They're all currently still open. I own a outpatient clinic. We do trauma and addiction therapy. We let people come in for individual services. We have an IOP program, helping people that just want to learn about addiction. I think for me, when I learned about addiction and actually learned what it is in my brain and how it relates to my everyday life, how it relates to my emotions, and I love somebody spoke about generational trauma, generational addiction, generational divorce, all of those things, relational issues, being able to share that. It was literally like a light went off in my head, and I appreciated it so much, just having the head knowledge about it, right? We always think like it's part of the game, we're stuck in the game, but there's so much more than that. And when we can look and see, right, if somebody told you you had diabetes, you'd want to know, well, what do I do, right? Do I just keep doing my life the same way? And we can talk about that. So we have that clinic. That clinic supports a supportive housing program. That supportive housing program allows you to get all of the IDs. We're partnering with 3 different companies, a culinary program, a landscaping program, and a solar program to give employment, right? When I came home, I'd never had a job. I went in very young and I came home, never worked, never been to a job interview. And so we're working alongside you. Our facilities are very small. We always have under 10 people living in any one place. So you're not overwhelmed with the amount of people that you're around if you need a place to live. You do not have to live in any of our facilities to come to our program though. And then I also have a residential treatment program. That treatment program goes out, we go into the community, we work a couple days a week as volunteers until they're employed, just to get in the practice of doing those things. And actually volunteering is one of our favorite things to do. I guess I came today, I actually had no idea what I was gonna share with you today. I got invited by a friend to come down and share. And what I wanna tell you guys is that nobody has to repeat this situation again, right? Things will be hard. I think sometimes it was extremely lonely coming home, having to cut off my friends because everybody that I knew was still in the game. And I vividly remember walking in a friend's house and everybody was using and I was like, oh God, what do I do? And I walked out and I remember sitting in my car freaking out like, everybody I know is using, how do I get away from this? And I moved. I stopped talking to those people and it was really lonely for a little while. I remember parole being super helpful for me. And I know that sounds a little crazy, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna have to call my parole officer, but I remember calling my parole officer and it being able just to have really great conversations about what was happening or things, you know, getting direction for things. Being petrified because I had interactions with the police and just calling and talking it out with them. I literally got pulled over, but I was paranoid. I was like, oh my gosh, like the last thing, that was the point where I was like, I don't want to go back. And so what I share with you is like, call your parole officer. I honestly know that people don't want to send us back. I think there's a mentality, they just want me to go back. And in some places, you're gonna have to work hard, right? Like it didn't come easy. I didn't have a bunch of easy days that came together. I don't come from a family that just gave me lots of money and it made life really easy. I worked really hard for where I'm at. I went to school. I worked 2 jobs. I took care of my diet. Like it was a mess. My life was kind of a mess, but I worked really hard because it's absolutely worth it. My life is amazing today. It's not perfect, but it's amazing. And you guys, there's literally nothing different. I'm not any better looking than you all. I'm not any smarter than you all. I'm just an average person that just worked really hard to get where I am. And I'm excited that you guys are home. I hope you're excited to be home. There's not like dread because prison's awful. Agreed? Not everybody's nodding. Prison is awful. We don't want to go back there. You get to make free choices every day. What do I eat? What do I wear? Where do I go? Right? And there is some control, but that's just life. I have a boss that tells me what to do. I have even my coworkers, right, tell me what to do. And that's just life. So I want to encourage you. I hope you guys reach out for resources, connect with the community. I love this panel over here. I love that everybody shared. There's great programs out there. Decide what fits for you and work with parole to complete this. All you got to do is complete it, right? Okay, I'll be in the back if you guys have any questions.
Well, I guess I'm the closest. What's up? All right, my name is Najee, and welcome home, everybody. I did 42 years in there, so I know what some of y'all might be feeling, right? But this panel over here, people that we put together out in this community for us, because how many people have you heard, for those of us who did a lot of time, you heard guys say, when I get out, I'm gonna do so and so and so and so, and they never did it. I didn't want to be one of them guys. I wanted to go down to the Senate and testify, the House and testify, work with the ACLU, do everything I can to make sure we can change the system. And this system has changed, because when I came out, I was on the ankle monitor, right? I was on the ankle monitor, because I was high profile. But this is the thing. I just want to leave you with 2 things so you can get out of here. The human being is the only animal that has to be encouraged to live. Think about that. The only animal that has to be encouraged to live. We have to encourage one another to actually live. In prison, we survived. We weren't living. Now it's time for us to live. And how do we do that? being consistent, right? Consistency is the key. Be consistent with the change that you're going through, right? It's easier. It makes everything easier when you're consistent. Let's look at a car. You get more mileage on the highway than you do in the city, right? Why? Because when you're on the highway, you got that consistency going, that momentum going. In the city, you got stoplights, stop signs, yield signs, pedestrians, and you got to put on the brake and then hit the accelerator again. It's time for you to live, man. If I can do it after 42 years, I know y'all can do it, right? Who in here sold drugs? Anybody? All right. CEOs, don't even know. You done dealt with personnel, transportation, distribution, supply. You done dealt with all this, right? Change your hustle. Work for yourself. Work so that you live and you don't have to be looking over your shoulder. This is what we need to do. Help somebody else. Help the person next to you. That's what helped me, by helping other people. That's what keeps me out. By constantly reaching out, helping people like this whole panel's doing. There's some great people over here. They may not be great in the sense that a lot of politicians and people might think they're great, but let me tell you something. I would stack them up against anybody because they care about your welfare. And you have to care about your welfare just as much as they do. Okay? Much love to you. And stay out. And don't run.
Huh?
So you have culinary, landscaping, ALOX, which has a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different programs over here, in-house, inpatient, outpatient, work stuff. I don't need to say anything more except don't run because they've said everything, and don't take it from me because I have not been in prison, but they all have. Yep. MVD services, yes. The TIP program can help you out with MVD services, and I think Lisa can. Both of those can.
And then so as far as getting your license back.
They might be have information on that. Yeah.
Do you guys have bus passes here so we can get a ride?
I can get you one. Yes.
You can?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll get you one. Anybody else need one? You need one? Oh, can you see me? So I need five bus passes? Okay. And real quick, who's on this? Who's got early release Sage? Any problems connecting with Sage at all?
Yeah.
So the individual right there, and the lady waving, she works for Sage. She didn't have a chance to come up here and speak. If you're having difficulty with Sage, get with her also. Okay. If you haven't had contact or they haven't contacted you, because it is mandatory, you need to complete that Sage program, get with Nicole back there. But I encourage you to get with everybody here to get any help that you need today, or get their information and contact them later. Okay? There's really no reason why you're going to be going back to prison, or going back to prison, period. Not just completing supervision, going back to prison, period, ever. Because they're here for you, not just right now, but forever, right? So keep that in mind. I'll get 5 bus passes, stick around, and go see them. Later.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.